Hello and welcome back to Forts Pro League, where here we're off to yet another matchup here on Stalactites 2v2. Here we have on the left-hand side, we have Team Bada Bing, playing as the Hurricane Commander. We'll be going a little bit faster generally, as well as getting some double speed reloads. We'll see if they can outspeed their opponents. On the right-hand side, it is Team Price of Fame, Pile and 42 Scientists, playing as the Buster Commander. Now, I am particularly biased toward Team Price of Fame here, because for those who are unfamiliar, 42 Scientist is one of the Forts community members, not just the Forts community member, but also one of my own moderators. I'm so happy to see him here, and part of the Forts team. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes here. Of course, he's playing alongside Pile, who is a long-time member of the Forts community and many-time contestants on both competitions and the Forts Pro League in previous seasons. So far, I'm not seeing anything extraordinary in terms of strategic chicanery. Looks like everyone's going toward later game tools. Though, Team Price of Fame, I would say, is suspiciously slow. Oh no, it's a rocket rush. Oh my. Oh, I like this, and that explains the Buster pick. They're gonna go with rocket spam, boosted by Buster's scatter shot ability. You can get an extra shrapnel onto those rocket launchers. And it looks like we have some reaction. Team Bada Bing, developing anti-air and basic defenses against rocket rush tactics. I'm not convinced they're reacting hard enough. They should be where they still have a small amount of time before things escalate. But it's gonna get rough. It's gonna get rough real hard, and it's gonna get rough real quick. Rockets are one of those weapons that can very quickly end the game. Mechanically, they don't punch very deep, so you don't have to worry about getting your core sniped just immediately unlike opening volley. However, the damage they deal is wide, and it's a lot of damage. It's wide enough that if you get hit by a clump of triple rockets, and just 3 rocket launchers hit you, the damage output, the damage sustained, will be greater than the amount of income and repair that you can possibly do before the next volley comes out. And so that means that if these rockets land, even once, then whoever tanks that hit will be stuck into the death spiral. Now, fortunately for Banaban Man, who was the target of that opening volley, Team Bada Bing has enough anti-air to have cleansed the skies there. Not just once, but twice. That's gonna leave Team Bada Bing feeling pretty good. Now, it is worth noting that Team Bada Bing has 2 advantages here. One, the Hurricane Commander gives a... Ooh, that's an impact. Mild core damage on target. Bada Bing loses 10% HP. But as I was saying, the Hurricane Commander increases the rate of fire of the machine gunners. That will give a little bit of boost in terms of anti-air power to Team Bada Bing. Additionally, Team Bada Bing has their heavy weapons completed, at least the heavy weapons tech completed. And the lower fort here on the left-hand side already has a plasma beam under construction, just over halfway complete. And heavy weapons generally, plasma beam among them, deal effectively guaranteed damage. So where something like these rockets can be mitigated or shot down, as we saw in the first couple volleys, a plasma beam will not. This means that, well, Team Price of Fame has to ramp up their defenses in order to survive the opening volley, the vengeance strikes from Team Bada Bing, or things are going to become a problem for Team Price of Fame here. You have the Buster active that will empower the rockets to deal a bit more damage. None of them land. And we have a plasma active now for both players of Team Bada Bing. The question is, will Team Price of Fame manage to survive? Oh, that's a lot of damage. No, and it's gone. And there's even more. 42 scientists just barely hanging on there. But Peel goes down. Peel goes down in one strike. Look at this. A single strut of metal between victory and defeat of 42 scientists. And it's just, here come the lasers. Oh, it's close. The second laser beam should be inbound momentarily. At this point, 42 scientists is selling off his everything, just trying to stay alive, just trying to keep the defenses intact. See if he can't come back in this game. Now, it is worth noting that the Team Bada Bing has revealed they are going for laser beams and only laser beams. Oh, that's what we call checkmate here. I was about to say, because Team Bada Bing is only going for laser beams, something as simple as energy shields can completely shut down all of their aggression. However, shutting down the lasers does not beget victory. You have to then build up to deal some damage in response. And doing that requires money. Money which 42 Scientists no longer has access to because the plasma beams just removed it. All of it. All of his income, it's gone. So, he's got no income, no real way of defending himself here. And I believe it is just going to be a matter of moments before those laser beams come back to deal some more damage. Oh no. They don't quite nail the shot to the core. I do appreciate him going for the energy shield first before the mines has got to repair. Or just let it burn. That's acceptable as well. Yeah, okay. That's probably for the best. This is a best of 3, so he's not knocked out yet. But it looks like we'll be going to the next round. And we're off to round 2 in this best of 3, where here we have on the left-hand side it is Team Price of Fame, where 42 Scientists and Pele are playing as the Seep Commander. They're facing off against their opponents on the right-hand side. In the red fort, it is Team Bada Bing. Bada Bing are playing as the Armadillo Commander. So we could expect to see some later gameplay and high defensive action from them. Price of Fame, on the other hand, with the Seep Commander, realistically, there are 2 ways to play Seep. You could do Rocket Rush, which didn't work out so well for them in the last round. But you can also play Swarm Missiles. Swarm Missiles and Dukes are, generally speaking, the most common way to go about it. I'm betting on the Rocket Rush, not the Rocket Rush, the Swarm Missile Rush kind of deal. And the reason for that is twofold. First, we can see that they're going for workshops, so they're not going rockets. And more importantly, we see them not taking their rear mines, which means, well, a swarm missile's got to go somewhere, and if you're not building mines, what else are you going to build there? And the answer is swarm missiles. I'm expecting to see swarm missiles placed here, just kind of immediately. Yeah, there they go, for both players. On the other side, we see some fairly standard play from both of the players here. The only unusual thing would be Banaban Man going with the sandbag dangler here, which I like to see it. It's cool, it's neat, it's gimmicky, it's something you don't see often. It's kind of a lot of APM. But I mean, it saves against cheese. It is the safe thing to do, and I approve. Unsurprisingly, we see Team Bada Bing going for later game technologies. There's a munitions plant for cannons, and a factory for laser weaponry. They're selling off their early techs. Although they are placing armories. I suspect this is because the swarm missiles are revealed, so we're not expecting any surprise tactics there. And Team Bada Bing recognizes the swarm missiles are coming, so they're getting defenses in place for it. The only thing out of the ordinary here for Team Bada Bing is the lack of an upgrade center, which isn't a bad thing in this instance because they're going to have to tank missiles, deal with earlier game shenanigans with the swarm missiles and nukes. And the upgrade center does not, it's kind of expensive for an early game investment, so I'm not at all surprised to see the lack of an upgrade center. It is, however, a break from the normal pattern, and worth mentioning because Team Bada Bing is reacting to getting pushed here. I'm looking forward to seeing how well this nuke rush goes. So far, Team Bada Bing has got a lots of anti-air on the board. Oh, that buzzsaw could have done game-ending damage. The top fort here for Team Bada Bing was not prepared to take buzzsaw hits, and no longer has any anti-air remaining, so it's just Banaban Man himself with the machine gunners. It's worth noting that these machine gunners are not Hurricane machine gunners, so they don't get the rate of fire boost. They don't get to be as effective in knocking out those missiles. However, Team Bada Bing is Armadillo and therefore doesn't have to pay as much repair bill for fixing their fort after taking hits from said missiles. So a different way of defending things. Something like Armadillo would generally get bonuses toward just face tanking the missiles and rebuilding afterwards. Which, for the record, is a very common, very popular, and very effective means of defending. Mostly because you can design your base in such a way as to be, shall I say, explosion resistant, such that when it is impacted by the missiles, it doesn't deal much damage. That mitigated damage you can then just kind of rebuild. We typically call these things missile catchers or something of the sort. Or it's just some, maybe even, there's a couple different durations. You have missile captures, you also have like just spaced armor. Big boxes. At this point, Team Price of Fame has gone up to 3 nukes, so I'm expecting to see them launch here in a few seconds. 42 Scientist doesn't quite have the storage yet to fire them both at the same time, but he's just rectified this. It's just a matter of waiting to coordinate with Pile to actually launch the volley, as the sniping from Team Bada Bing is rough to handle. Nukes fly, but that is so much anti-air that not even close. Not even a little close. Team Price of Fame is going to have to do something about that anti-air before these nukes start landing. Now, I say that, but I understand full well that nukes are inherently an RNG weapon. Very technically, you can have as much anti-air as physically possible available on this map. And those nukes, a single nuke can still make it across. Very technically. The chances of that, not very high, but it is possible. So generally speaking, when it comes to missile play like this, you kind of just send it and hope one eventually makes it. And then you just keep rolling the dice over and over and over again, hoping to get damage. And if you get damage, you destroy some anti-air, and that gives you, your next attempt at launching slightly better chances of making it across, and then you hope to just keep compounding that damage. If one missile makes it across one time, it destroys one piece of anti-air. Maybe 2 missiles make it across next time and destroy 2 pieces of anti-air. And then you can just kind of death spiral your opponent out of the game by virtue of just wearing down their anti-air and slapping them until they can't repair. So that's kind of what Team Price of Fame is working for here. We did see... that's another impact. Banaban Man takes a hefty hit, knocking his core down to 39%. And the spread of swarm missiles actually takes out a fairly chunky amount of the anti-air as well. Team Bada Bing doesn't have enough anti-air to consistently remove all of these missiles from the sky, because this is triple warhead, 1 swarm missile. Now, just like last round, it is worth noting that Team Bada Bing has gone with heavy weapons and does have a cannon already constructed with a second cannon on the way. And cannons deal guaranteed damage, whereas the missiles of all their kinds don't deal guaranteed damage. So Team Price of Fame has to worry about just taking a heavy hit anywhere at any point in time. And there's not really much Team Price of Fame can do about it other than remove Bada Bing from the game. Whereas Team Bada Bing can deal with these swarm missiles and nukes inbound just by building better defenses. Then they won't take any damage at all. Ooh, oh, that's massive. Is that it? That's it. Team Bada Bing loses a player. It's down to Banaban Man himself after a nasty hit on the weapons platform. Seems that he didn't actually build the weapons platform sturdy enough to survive the impact. It comes collapsing down, bringing all of its explosive weaponry down with it, detonating in the foundations and causing a massive collapse across the base. Banaban Man now stands alone, and those missiles are coming for him. Massive damage. Banaban Man has got not much left. He's down to about, looks like, one active machine gunner. And, well, that plethora of anti-air wasn't enough before. That one machine gunner won't be enough now, and that's it. Team Price of Fame wins it off the back of several missile launches. We're going to round 3. And we're off to round 3 in this best of 3. It's the decider match between Team Price of Fame and Team Bada Bing. As here we have on the left-hand side, it is Team Price of Fame playing as the Hurricane Commander. I'm partial to the Hurricane Commander, even if only because it gives rapid rate of fire machine gunners, but oh no, Peel loses the sniper duel. As Team Bada Bing goes and wins this sniper war. And the prize... endless harassment of this one turbine in particular. You love to see, you hate to see. It feels bad for everyone involved. The Team Bada Bing is playing as the Buster Commander. We saw Buster Commander showcased here in the first match in this series. Curious to see what they're going to do with it. Probably the most common... I don't know. So in the 2v2s, Buster players tend to use their this Buster Commander to for its passive shrapnel bonus as opposed to the empowered damage bonus. During the Commander active, basically all explosives and kinetics gain a anything that launches a projectile gains an empowerment, gets extra penetration, as well as some incendiary trail, so it ignites things and goes a little bit deeper. It's really strong on things like cannons because it deals a lot of damage. The extra penetration alone is enough to hit things with the splash damage that it causes problems, and then the extra fire just does a little bit of economic damage. It's the stereotype is you go Buster, you build cannons, you shoot your opponent until they stop existing. It's like a regular standard cannon style play, but stronger. But in 2v2s and 1v1s, most players tend to rely on the passive bonus of Buster, because it gives the explosives an extra shrapnel element, and that shrapnel element is great for removing anti-air. Oh, 42 Scientist takes a hit, a buzzsaw straight to the core. He's down to 75%. But things are kicking off. Things are going to kick off real quick here. As here we have on the left-hand side, it's, well, Peel going for mortars. You see mortars with 42 Scientists going for lasers as the backup. And on the right-hand side here, we have a Rocket Rush. This is a Rocket Rush where our Banaban Man goes for lasers. So this is an this is a weird one, guys. We have one player from each team going early game, and one player from each team going late game. Dude, Peel. Fix. Please. Thank you. That's so much leaning, dude. That's not okay. I didn't expect this. We have one player from each team going for lasers, and one player from each team going early game. The early game is a little bit different for each. Peel is going for the heavy mortar option, whereas Team Bada Bing is going for rockets here. The rockets are first to launch. Definitely caught Peel off guard. The rocket goes directly to the core and it eliminates him in a single shot. I didn't expect that to eliminate him. I thought the machine gunner was going to be sufficient to either knock the rockets out of the sky or prevent enough damage from being dealt that he would, you know, survive the impact. Apparently I'm wrong, and Peel just goes down, just immediately. That leaves 42 scientists alone against the world, but he's not out of the running just yet. He cannot take that kind of damage. Okay, he's not repairing that. He just has to fire his lasers and hope it's enough. As I was saying, he's alone against the world, but he does have heavy weapons out. They're not going to let him have it. Nope, that's it. The rockets just impact, and this is checkmate. This is over, and he's gone. Team Bada Bing wins this series, and was a quick and dirty back and forth. That was wild. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see more matches like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, because we got more content like this coming out every single week, multiple times a week. And remember to join us during our Saturday and Wednesday live streams for community matches. You can come hang out and see these games live. I'll see you there.